What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to, well, Drew's backpacking people. 1 second. Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, as we enter a brave new world. A world without sports for at least a month or thereabout, several weeks, because a bunch of overreacting leaders and irresponsible citizens can't wash their hands and stay home when they're sick. So here we are, everybody. Here we are. Shut down. Shut down. So a lot of people have asked me what I'm going to talk about. I don't know. Figure it out. Let's see. Kevin, good morning. Dylan Landry, good morning. Brandon DeVille, good morning. Selling my TV. Obviously, no need for it anymore. um, I I'm just so perplexed by this, man. And the people that I really, really feel badly for are, well, I mean, it's the tentacles of this are ginormous because, you shut down so many events. Not only do you affect those business owners, those organizers, but then you affect their employees and everything it touches. I'll give you an example. So, like, St. Patty's Day parade was supposed to be this week in Baton Rouge. Okay. Think about all those mid city restaurants and bars that have their biggest day of the year. Biggest day of the year. Well, it's gone now. And it's not just the owner. Think about all their employees, all the bartenders that would have had great tips and great days, or the servers that would have had their biggest day of the year, and then the trickle down goes to their family. Like, what if they counted on that day sort of a salary to pay for whatever? And that's all over the country. The man, it's really, really unfortunate. Just really unfortunate that it's come to this. Anyway. Let's see. Bubba Tatum, morning. I'm here, but I'm just going to sit quietly in the corner and sulk about sports being killed. Tell you this much. I'll applaud Greg Sankey because after the NCAA decided to cancel all spring sport championships, he was pretty forthright saying that's premature. I mean, to cancel the College World Series in June, in March, is premature. So good for him. And I guess it's worth noting that if the SEC wanted to resume competition, it could. Now, the NCAA may not organize a championship for those sports, but if the SEC wants to play baseball, as soon as they're ready, they'd say, come on, let's go play. As long as all the university presidents and everything get on board with it, they can go play baseball. They can resume the season. You may not have a national champ this year, but you could have an SEC champ. Let's see. Kevin, could you look at your private messages? Okay, I will after the show. Kirk Taylor, good morning. Brian Wynn, good morning. Hey, bud. You want to come see Daddy? I have to tell you where you're going to go today. Come see him. Tell you something. Come here. Okay, so listen. So after Dad's show, we are going to get dressed. And then after you get dressed, later you drink your milk. And then Mimi will come over. And Mimi will take you to Lucy's. And you get to do what at Lucy's? Ring the bell. Okay, and then after you go to Lucy's, you're gonna go to Mimi and Papa's house. And who you gonna see at Mimi and Papa's house? Papa. What are you gonna do when you see Papa? Huh? Ride in Papa's car. Yep. Does that sound like a good day? Look, and then later, Daddy will come home. And Daddy and Drew go for a ride in Daddy's car. And you can walk and hold Daddy's hand. Very good. Very good, my boy. You want to say hi, Dad Show? You want to say hi, Dad Show? No? Okay. Let's see. Chad Dupuis, Jeff Stipe, BJ Richard, good morning. Dylan Hess, there's no stopping the Scone. That's true, Dylan Hess. There is no stopping morning Scone. We're rolling, bro. We're rolling. Andrew Bear, how long until baseball can't come back from canceling the College World Series? If they start playing again in April, could be back on. So, Andrew, the thing to remember is that the conferences can do what they want, but the NCAA's objective is to organize championships. That's what they do. They organize championships for these sports. So, if the NCAA doesn't want to organize a championship, if schools elect to play, they could certainly organize their own, or you could just not have a national champion, have a conference champion, and it ends there. Kerry Cragen, good morning, WWE discussion. Eric Hart, what's up, man? Josh Long, Tasha Thibodeau, Dustin Boudreaux. Josh Long. You know what, Josh? Thank you. It is head shaving day. So, take a look at this lettuce. What's left of it? It's gone at 6 o'clock tonight. So, here's a good reminder for all of you. Because you're not rushing home to watch LSU Ole Miss in baseball. You're not rushing home to watch conference basketball tournaments. You're not rushing home to watch the Pels, to whatever. So here's what you do. You log on to YouTube. You type after further review. You hit subscribe. Hit the bell, because the bell will set notifications. So when we go live tonight at 6, right after AFR, you get that notification. You jump on. You watch Terrio shave my head. How about that? Well, we'll become a VSPN and Sports Center. Maybe they can show reruns of games from past eras. The thing, hey, Mark Parent, good morning, or Pedal. A day of mourning. At least your voice of common sense and reason as opposed to others scared to death. Yeah, Steven, but I am getting a lot of pushback too. But you know what does kill me? Maybe a poor word choice there. Joey DeStefano, what's up? Man, this is going fast. Comments are going fast. My apologies if I don't get to all of them. The thing that I can't help but laugh at is the irony of people telling me that I'm an egotistical know-it-all when this is something that I actually have a tremendous amount of practical, applied knowledge and experience with something specifically like this because of Drew. And the people who literally know nothing about it and are just headline readers are the ones telling me that I'm an egotistical know-it-all. I'm like, it's actually kind of the reverse here. Like, you're the one who doesn't know. You know what I mean? Anyway. To the question about Sports Center, the thing is, like, this doesn't go away, right? I mean, every day that you're without sports, the storylines don't go away. The storylines evolve. So, you're going to have more players diagnosed. You're going to have heads of leagues and commissioners and whatnot making determinations. They'll do interviews, and then of course you'll have a reaction to all of it from talking heads and different things. So, all of the conversation, the news moves away from what's happening on the fields and courts and whatnot to what is the process of getting back? So they'll still have content. Hey, Jessica Trum, good morning. Bubba Tatum had homework. Let's hear it, Bubba. I did give Bubba Tatum homework yesterday. His job was to go listen to the song "Torn" by Creed. I gotta share this. Please share the post if you haven't done so yet. Let me share this. Boom, boom. Okay. Cody Boudreaux, I thought they would suspend, not cancel. I agree with you. I kept reading the headline, wasn't comprehending. I'm with you, Cody. The cancel seemed horribly reactionary and premature. Aaron Fontaine, good morning, all. Hope everything is good. Everyone is having a good morning as possible without sports. Feel bad for the seniors who don't get to finish their final season. You know, the thing is, too, I give you an example. We had an LSU senior golfer intern with us, Monica. If you go look up LSU's golf on the website, Monica Dibludo is her last name. She's from Mexico. Sharp girl, bright, going to do awesome things. Wants to go play golf professionally until she starts her career. But just loves LSU and being a student athlete. And her senior season just got taken away from her. You know, we think so much in terms of like NCAA tournament and basketball and the big things that are revenue generators and that draw big audiences. But there are so many student athletes who they'll never get to competitively play their sport again. You know. Ali Yazdani, good morning. Screw the virus. It's ruining anything, but I'll at least watch boxing. Duran Leonard. There you go. Terry Vidito, good morning. Craig Schilling, what's up, man? No one is canceling the elevator at Dad's work. But you know what, Craig? So that's my case in point. I've got a kid who would be very compromised, and we're going to live our lives. I'll practice social distancing with Drew. We always do. We've already had those conversations with Drew's doctors and his therapists, like, where should we go? Where shouldn't we go? Like, he'll go to Abilities because that's more one-on-one. They make sure they send, like, as long as Drew has been going there, literally for 5.5 years now, 5 years. Like, they sanitize everything when he comes in the room for his one-on-one session. Like, that's a more controlled setting. We're not going to send him to big group settings. We're probably not going to take him to the MALL. You know what I mean? Like, some of those things you absolutely avoid. We'll take him to the park. We'll do, like, we're going to live our lives. You just be cautious. But anyway, my point is those are things we deal with every day. Drew needs his own morning scone director's chair. Hey, Cheryl, good morning. Charlie Cavell, what really sucks is all the high school kids who lose their seasons. That's true. It's very true. Because so much of that's being canceled now, too. And it feels like once Adam Silver suspended the NBA season, it forced everyone else's hand to follow suit, or it would appear as though they weren't reacting as strongly enough. Shelby, one thing we can always count on Drew's PJ game being on point. That's his mama, you know that. Carrie Hughes, good morning. Joe Jubal, what's up, my dude? Charles Waltman, Blake McGraw, Corey Gotro, good morning. What's up, everybody? If y'all would hit the share, as always, really appreciate that. Huge help. Irfan Sayad, given the hysteria, I have some level of understanding about canceling the tournament, but canceling the CWS is insanity. I agree. Now, they're projecting. I know what they're doing. They're looking ahead and projecting and saying, okay, we know that this, if you can just look at other countries as a test case and say you can look at the ebbs and flows and perhaps, once we control it, then you'll see another spike once people who are quarantined start going back out, into society, which makes sense. You might see the numbers spike again and then it could cause this whole thing. And so they're looking ahead, but it is absurd. It is. Kerry says, so this would mean LSU football will be the only national championship of the 1920 season. So someone asked me that yesterday, and I know because it's likely you will have fall sports. I think you will have fall sports, and a lot of those championships are crowned before the fall semester ends. So before, Christmas, before, New Year's. So I think you'll have fall 2020 championships. But so you said, but the 1920 school year, I see what you're saying. But no, because you had fall champions, from the 2019 fall. 'Cause someone asked me about like the calendar year 2020. But I think you'll have fall 2020 also. Jeremy Aldridge, good morning. Jessica Trum, Jeff, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. It's so true, man. I saw on ABC News last night shared a video in Southern California of people at a Costco at like 10 o'clock at night, and the line was snaking all through the parking lot. I'm like, what do you all think is going to happen? Like, what do you think? Like, do you think we're all going to just be quarantined in our homes for a month? Like, what is this lunacy that's happening to us, right? Like, so many times I see that, and it's like, man, humanity gets less impressive every time, every passing tweet with stuff like this. I mean, what do you think? Like, and again, the thing that I gotta stress that this is really hard for people to understand. This is a respiratory virus. It's not like a flesh-eating virus where if you get it, you will most certainly die or lose limbs. It's a respiratory virus. 99.99999% of people who get it, you'll have symptoms like cold and flu symptoms, but you're going to be fine. Like, and you say, well, what about it? What if you transmit it to your 80-year-old grandma? I've heard that so much. What if you transmit it to your 80-year-old grandma? You could do the same with the flu. You realize the flu kills tens of thousands of people in our country every single year. And every time you go to a concert or a festival or a sports game or something like that, there's the chance during cold and flu season that you're getting the flu that you could then transmit to someone you love, and they could get sick and die from that. Like, do you realize that? That's a real possibility. But we don't, but it's like, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Like, we never pay attention. It's like the thing that we've become so accustomed to it that we just ignore all of that with flu. And then, well, this is 10 times more potent than the flu. That remains to be seen, quite honestly. Because we've yet to start testing everybody. And wait until we start testing everybody, and then people are surviving it because people are going to survive respiratory viruses. And those mortality rates start to drop down to look a lot like the flu. And you're going to go, oh, okay. It's a respiratory virus. Whatever. So what do you want to talk about? Who's watching Terrio shave my head today? Brandon Ray, do you think CBS is going to lose $1 billion on the tournament? So a lot of times they'll have contingencies in their contract, so they can either have insurance or those advertisers that have spent their money, because that's where they make the money. Those advertisers that have spent their money can reallocate or be comped spots in other premium events. So let's say, just hypothetically, your Coca-Cola. Just pick a big one. Your Coca-Cola, you made a 7-figure buy for the NCAA tournament. CBS now can't honor that. They could either refund you or they could reallocate you to NFL games next fall. What else does CBS have? That's the Masters, if they have the Masters. But what that does is it takes away inventory from CBS that they could otherwise go sell, unless if they add inventory and add to their broadcast schedule. So they'd have to get creative. But do I think CBS loses $1 billion because of this? No, I don't. But it's a good question. Maybe I'll get someone on from CBS who can talk about that. Cassidy Russo, Shelby, better song, Torn or My Own Prison? I like Torn. I like when he goes, the peace is dead and my soul I have blamed, reasons for my intention. Yes, I'm the only one who will carry on this far. It's a jam, bro. Okay. Andre Chapoy. Anyone know if the high school baseball tournament is going on in Santa Monica today? I don't know. Brian, Robin, Marcel Thibodeau, Holly Marie, Tara Mouse Loving, good morning. Jesse Romero, Tommy Averett, good morning. Joe Juba, it's my birthday. Raining in Dallas, no baseball, no basketball. Corona, I'll settle for Matt's head shaving adventure. Joe, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, my dude. I got to get Drew to come in here and sing you happy birthday, man. Hope it's a great one, buddy. Andrew Brister, I have coronavirus strain B. My symptom is lack of LSU athletics in WWE. Oh, God. Oh, man. Let's see. Get back over to some YouTube comments. No one will take a stance and say, no, it's not the right thing to do. Just canceling is not the right thing to do. Pausing, maybe. Some people have done that, Craig. I think Greg Sankey did. I'm doing it, although I'm just one smaller voice. But I think some have. But I really think, honestly, Craig, the thing that is so disappointing from my perspective is like, I'll flip on ESPN, for example, and there's Jay Billis. And Jay Billis is a I'm smarter than everybody else guy because, he went to law school and he went to Duke and everything. And so he's having these really somber, stoic talks, and and then he just defaults like everyone else to, well, they had no choice. It was the right thing to do. You have to consider. I'm like, but it's not the right thing to do, because what's happened now is our leadership. What's happened? Our leadership put in extreme measures to try to control the spread of the coronavirus, and when the public sees leadership panic, then the public panics. Like, if leadership would have done the things that I've said and the things that I know are the things you do in these situations, because it's literally how we live our life. Like, I was having this conversation with Erica last night. She's like, Matt, like, we have done this, like, the things that people are being encouraged to do, that's been so top of mind for us that it's very obvious. But that's not very obvious for everyone. But it is for us. Like, you walk in our house, the first thing you do is you go wash your hands. Like, that's a rule in our house. Like, every room, every vehicle, everything has sanitizer. When we take Drew to, we go to Home Depot or somewhere. Before we put him in a cart, we pull out sanitizing wipes and wipe that thing down before we put him in the cart. Like, it's just it's what we do. And it's like, if everybody would do that, you would see an exponential, you'd kill this thing off. But instead, it's no. Let's cancel everything. And then you have this mass hysteria. And then you have dopey little snowflakes on Twitter who think they know everything. Hang on. Drew? Let's see. Shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Appreciate y'all as always. Be fair. Matt, this virus spreads 10 times faster than the flu. If half the population gets this virus, 300 million people, over 3 million dead here, while the flu kills 60,000 a year. It's serious people. So be fair. First of all, that is an absurd sentiment, because 3 million people are not going to die from this virus. That's what you're looking at current percentages where our nation hasn't even begun testing. What's going to, the biggest concentration of fatalities so far came from one senior living facility in Washington State. What's going to happen, because this is a respiratory virus, it is cold and flu symptoms. That's what it is. People say it's not the flu. I get it. I understand that it's a different respiratory virus, but respiratory viruses mostly behave the same. And I understand the difference between upper respiratory viruses that affect your sinuses and your nasal cavity, and those that exist more in your chest cavity and your lungs and affect your pulmonology. Like, I get it. I understand it more than you do. You can say I don't. You can think that I'm just a dope who doesn't have an MD next to my name. I understand this more than you do because I live this. And 3 million people book this. 3 million people will not die in the United States from the coronavirus. You are going to see now more people, as they display symptoms, go get tested. They will go home like everybody should do when you're sick, and they'll wait and they'll let the symptoms pass. They'll let the virus run its course, and they'll survive. And you're going to see that mortality rate drop exponentially. The people that are at risk are the infirm and the elderly, which, okay, the elderly shouldn't be going to the NCAA tournament. Fine, let's make sure that we're being very cautious. We're covering sneezes and coughs, especially around our elderly grandparents or parents. Like, these are good practices anyway. But I'm sure you know everything. Be fair. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's not serious. My point is the threat is no different than the threats we deal with every year during cold and flu season to that segment of our population. Yet we never react like this because we've dealt with the flu for 100 years. And people are like, well, we have the flu vaccine. How many people get the flu shot every year and still get the flu? You're guessing with the flu shot as to which strain it's going to be. Whatever. But you know everything. Matt, do you think there'll be sports media laughs? No. Because listen, here's the thing. Truthfully, guys, like, look at the show today. I mean, you're going to see more interest now, I think, from people who are interested in what's going to happen. So it's not so much that people are watching and locked in to know the score of the game. They want to know when everything's coming back. They want to know the latest on this. So yeah, I don't think I don't think you're gonna have I don't think you're gonna have a drop off. I think you're gonna see a spike in interest, a spike in consumption. I mean, look at our numbers here. I mean, and this is my little morning vlog. Andrew Bear, funniest thing I've seen. If you need that much toilet paper, you should have gone to the doctor long before COVID-19, or get a bidet. Cheryl, this reminds me of lemmings falling off a cliff. That's yeah. And again, the thing that I think has been lost, a bit my commentary on this, I am not saying that this is insignificant. I'm not saying that it's a hoax. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is there are common practices that will prevent the spread of this virus, like every other virus, if the citizens of humanity collectively wash their hands, cover their sneezes and coughs, when they display symptoms, stay home. Like, there are ways to limit the spread of this virus. And then when the weather heats up, it'll subside. And we're not far from that as it is. Certainly in South Louisiana, we're going to be in the 80s. So I'm not saying it's not serious. I'm not saying it won't spread fast. What I'm saying is people are concerned about mortality. They think they're going to die if they get this. I literally heard Marty Smith doing an interview with Rick Barnes, the Tennessee head basketball coach. And Marty says to Rick Barnes, I was talking to some of your players and they were scared for their safety. I'm like, a 20-year-old college athlete in peak physical condition is scared for his safety? Like, that's where the hysteria has come in with this. Like, if I get the coronavirus, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to go into bed, I'll pound fluids, I'll let it run its course over a week to 10 days, and then I'll be back to my life. Maybe I'll need a bidet. Who knows? But 20-year-old college athlete is not going to die from the coronavirus yet. with all of the hysteria, that's the mentality some people have. These people in line at Costco wrecking stores everywhere think if they get coronavirus, they're going to die. Like, oh. David Alello, what's up, man? Charlie, to think this all started from some poor guy in China who likely butchered a bat. So stupid. Jeff McKithen, Palace Cafe Head Shave and Watch Party. I love it. If you're in NOLA, go down to Palace Cafe, see Jeff, drink some bourbon, and Jeff, if you got TVs or roll them in there, man. Put us on YouTube on your Chromecast or your Roku or whatever you got. Jason Sheffield, what time is the head shaving? 6 p.m. So as soon as AFR ends, we go live on the After Further Review YouTube channel. So if you're on YouTube, go to After Further Review, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you set notifications because you're going to forget. And so when we go live, you get a ding on your phone and you can pull it up. Ryan Jackson wouldn't miss it. Nice. Josh Long, much rather talk about head shaving than hear Scone rant. Okay, let's talk about head shaving. Let's see. We can watch 2.5 hours of welding. I'll pass on that, Kevin. Douglas Juhan, Kirk Taylor. It'll turn out on only if we can Chris Blair to call it shave by. I'll turn it on only if we can get Blair to call it shave by shave. Gonna pass on that. No thanks. Perry Bonin, good morning. Brian Ashcraft, good morning. Charles Rees, hey Matt, I think this would be a perfect time to go back to Daily Scone podcast. I was a huge fan when you had it rolling. Thanks, Charles. I appreciate that. So a Daily Scone got bumped in large part because of this and the Locked on LSU podcast. So I'm doing a daily LSU podcast. It was difficult for me to find the time to do another daily podcast. I'm already pretty stretched thin. I'm not opposed to doing another podcast like that. It was more of a media podcast. Which maybe I could do, but if I do, when I would probably do it is I would probably do it on my ride home. I'd probably record it on my phone on my ride home. So the audio quality wouldn't be great, but that's about the only time where I feel like I could steal 20 minutes and do it. Dale Broussard, Brian, Andy Penn. Brian, thanks for calling yesterday, man. It was good to hear your voice. Hope y'all are safe out on the road. Rick Hauk, good morning. Charlie, thank goodness I recorded the national championship game with the LSU broadcast crew. Andrew Bayer, interested to see if LSU refunds fans for tickets or credits their account. Southern has announced LSU refunds. Andrew, LSU, they've got what they will do. I'll tell you what they'll do because it's not the first time an event's ever been canceled. What they'll do is they'll offer you the option. They'll offer you the. I don't know this, but I'm guessing because this has been the precedent they've set in the past. They will offer you the option of either getting a refund or applying that toward future tickets. And I think at one time in the past they've even said you could just make it as a donation to LSU. And if you do that, then it's, as I understand, if you make it to TAP, then it's tax deductible. But anyway. What is the ESPN network going to do for content? I've gotten that question a few times, Tommy. I don't think it's going to be as big an issue as some might think, because the conversation around this unprecedented event isn't going to subside. The news cycle will continue developing because the decision makers, like we're all thinking, what do you do for a month? Well, all of the decision makers are going to be monitoring this for a month. There's no doubt that more players will be infected. And like, I'll give you an example. I think, this is my opinion on the matter, I think the Rudy Gobert story is going to be the test case because Rudy Gobert is a very big, strong, healthy individual. He has the coronavirus. Many people are acting like he's contracted HIV, which is absurd. That's the mindset some people have. Like I actually heard, I was interviewing Langston Galloway yesterday, and Langston even referenced in the 90s when players were unsure if they wanted to play with Magic Johnson. I'm like, Christ almighty, man. Magic Johnson had HIV. this is a respiratory virus. Like this is like cold or flu. I mean, and I know people keep saying it's not the flu. I know they're different strains, but they're different viruses, but it's still a respiratory virus. It's a virus that attacks the same part of your body. Anyway, like to think that anybody would even conceptualize or compare the two is absurd. Like one is literally for anybody a matter of life and death. The other is you'll get sick for a few weeks and then it'll pass. But what's going to happen with Rudy Gobert, big, strong Rudy Gobert, is he's got coronavirus. About a week from now or so, he's going to be like, yeah, I feel great. Had a little cough, sneeze, I'm good. That. This is what's going to happen with Rudy Gobert. He's not going to the hospital. He's not going to be, you're not going to see pictures of Rudy Gobert in a hospital bed. And then people are going to be like, oh, that's it? Okay, well, why did you cancel everything again? Like, that's what's going to happen with this. Derek Morales, what's up, dude? Scott Stapp on you right now. Shelby, that album was the first album. I know every word to every song. I was like 6, lol. It's a great album. Irfan, my coworkers just gave me weird looks when I was jamming with Scone. Now I kind of want to get my guitar and play it and sing it and just be really loud. Let's see. Hang on. Let me see. Let's see. F, C, G minor, D, B, F, A minor. I could do that. Huh. I'm tempted to get my guitar. I don't think you'll want to hear it, though. I'm tempted. I'll play it when we're done with Morning Scone. Shout out to Brock. They're tagged in the Facebook post. If you could watch them, that'd be great. Let's see. Let's see. See. Boop, 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 boop. Brock Pendarvis, seeing Drew's excitement about his day and Scone singing 2 mornings in a row. Who needs sports? There you go, Brock. Keep coming back, man. Brandon Atchison, which is more deadly, coronavirus or red grange? He's got the red grange. That is one good thing. I mean, we got Terrio on today, so with no sports and Terrio in, there's probably no better day to have Radio Hour than today. So look forward to that. Let's see. Jonathan Metz, good morning. Brian Ashcraft. People want to use Paris as examples. For what? Hey, Nan, good morning. Stephen Beach. Andre, boy. You can't base mortality rate without all the factors plugged in. Okay. Lenny Rodrigue, what's up? Stephen Beach, it's just a damn virus. Now, some viruses are really deadly. Like HIV is a virus, and I don't want that. That's deadly. Coronavirus for healthy people? No, not so much. Andy Wallace, let's let folks out for a month or so. They can travel the world now instead of going to work or school. Stay in normal everyday pattern. Folks will travel now because some will not stay home. See, like, I wouldn't recommend that. See, this is my point. People think that I'm saying it's no big deal. I wouldn't recommend traveling right now. I wouldn't recommend getting on a plane and going to another state. And I mean, that's how it spreads and transmits. Like, I would severely limit travel to only, essential personnel. That's like Erica and I and Drew are supposed to be getting on a plane Sunday to go to Ohio. Drew had his checkup scheduled with Dr. Latoya, his surgeon, who left Houston and is now the chief of surgery at Nationwide Children's in Columbus, Ohio. We were supposed to be getting on a plane on Sunday with Drew to go to Columbus, Ohio for his doctor's appointment. We canceled. We're not putting Drew on a plane right now. We're not. Like, we waited till after, to the end of cold and flu season, thinking, okay, by then, like, we weren't going to put him on a plane and, you know, in the height of cold and flu season because we don't want Drew to catch the flu. So we have to be diligent about things. So we planned, like, okay, mid March. Mid March, cold and flu season has subsided. It's almost spring. It's a good time to go. Well, then this all ramped up. We're like, okay, we're not putting him on a plane. Like, there's a very common, like, he's an at risk person. That's a very common sense way of approaching this. I'm not going to wrap him in bubble wrap and stick him in his room. Jessica Collins, good morning. Is Skylar Mays a first rounder? I don't think so, Mark. I do think he'll get drafted, though. I think there's someone who'll take him in round two because of his ability. His ability to get to the rim and score, his ability to defend, leadership. I think all of that stuff is going to make him a round two pick. Vintage shirt you got on, Matt. Yeah, it is. It's '09 NFC. This is NFC South champs. This isn't even the NFC champs. This is when they won the South in '09. Before they went on to win the NFC and then the Super Bowl. Kelly Davis, good morning. Status of football spring game. Oh, Mark, I doubt they're going to play the spring game. LSU hasn't announced that, but I would, at this point, doubt they play the game. We'll see, though. LSU is going to continue practicing, which, how about that for the absurdity? You're going to get about 150 to 200 people together on a football field, sweating, crashing bodies, like exchanging bodily fluids. Like that's okay, but you can't go sit in the stands and watch people play basketball. Courtney Store, common sense. Let's see. Morning from North Dakota. There you go, Lowell. Good to see you this morning, man. Women's Final Four canceled in New Orleans. That's going to be hard for Uber drivers. It's so true. I mean, that's an event not for Uber drivers, for the hotels, for the restaurants, for the bartenders, for the waiters, everybody, man. Everybody in entertainment. Michael Castello, good morning. Matt Lusso. Check out Joe Rogan's podcast with an infectious disease doctor. Informative. I did see it actually already, Matt. I saw that. And he makes a lot of really good points. Okay. And I've spoken to infectious disease doctors. No, I don't. I guess I just don't talk about it a lot, but I don't think you understand how often we see, talk to, or in contact with doctors because of him in all different specialties. Anyway. Bo Lowry, good morning. St. Patrick's Day block party tonight, 6 p.m. at Gaddissos in Gretna. Get it, man. Enjoy. Wash your hands. The worst thing that could happen is this madness stays around into hurricane season. We get a big storm. That'd be great for the toilet paper industry. Which LSU basketball players are going pro? It's a really good question, Mark. You know what else I want to see? I want to see what the NCAA allows. Do they allow guys who have eligibility expire to return? LSU's going to have to wait decisions on Watford, Javante, Emmett, and Days. I'd love it if they could get at least two of those. I'd love it if they could get Watford, maybe Days back. I think Emmett and Javante are gone. That's just a guess. Just a guess, though. Let's see. Stocked up on whiskey, you know that. Chris Flanagan, good morning, dude. Keith Rosenbach. Colin Lawrence. Will this virus end up being bigger than 9/11? Colin, I can understand why you'd ask that question, but 9/11 was a singular event in humanity that changed all of humanity. So this is different. This is inconveniencing people for a little while, that literally changed our world. I mean, that changed the way we all look at the world. Um, on September the 10th of 2001, the threat of global terrorism wasn't something that we considered on our day to day life. Um, you know what's so interesting? If you go back and watch a pre 9/11 movie, when people are at the airport, when security lines weren't anything, when you could go walk right up to the gate and greet people coming off a flight. I mean, um, how freely people would just like run through the airport, to catch like it's so funny to watch, like remembering that world, and to see what it's like now. Just and it didn't just change aviation; it changed everything. Changed everything. So no, I think 9/11 is in my lifetime and in the lifetimes of all of us the single biggest event that any of us will have ever witnessed as far as changing the course of humanity. Literally just had a Coca-Cola delivery guy call me about delivering drinks to BPCC for games that won't ever be played. Gavin Blanchard, good morning. Josh Long, new drinking game. Every time Matt says it's a respiratory virus, we drink. Oh, well, it is a respiratory virus. Caleb Clark, good. But the thing is though, Josh, like that clearly doesn't resonate with you. That's my point. It's just something that I'm very familiar with that clearly doesn't resonate with you and doesn't resonate with a lot of people. I guess is the point. Um, anyway, streaming services viewership will increase immensely. Do you think the NCAA will consider allowing another year of eligibility to basketball players? Not just basketball players. I think it should be all spring sports. Like, I'll keep making this. We think basketball because it's the big tournament everybody watches, but what about the cross country run or what about uh, the hurdler from Toledo? I mentioned excuse me, a young girl that worked with us who's an LSU golfer, Monica. Like, her career's over now. Like, what about her? I mean, I think the NCAA should make the exception. The question becomes, do schools want to fund those scholarships for another year? Because I don't think they should be taking up a spot. Because remember, when you sign in a recruiting cycle, you're expecting natural attrition. You're expecting graduation, you're expecting transfers, whatever the case may be. So you need those spots available. So I think the NCAA would have to make an exception to where you could expand rosters. Because I mean, imagine Will Wade, they got 6 guys signed for this class. Well, you need to lose 6 scholarship players. Either you only got 3 seniors, so you're expecting 3 other guys to be gone either early to the draft or transfer, whatever. I mean, if you want some of the, if any of those seniors come back now, you're crunched even more, right? Open a new stream so we can have a concert. Oh man! If you get HIV, Erica will kill you first. I don't plan on it, but again, that's transmitted in a different way. I found out about 2 months ago that I somehow got mono around the age of 10 years old. Flared up again. Since then, I've doubled my efforts on washing hands, making sure nobody drinks after me, been loading up on vitamins and immune boosters. It's good practices. But like the thing is, we all constantly take immune boosters. All of us in our house daily load up on vitamin C, olive leaf extract, and elderberry. Like Drew gets in his G tube twice a day, huge doses of olive leaf extract, and um, and elderberry. Like we and not just during cold and flu, like every day of his life since he's been born, we pump him with those supplements because it helps boost his immunity. So it helps him when he does get sick fight off that stuff. This is like what I'm telling you. Like this I don't know nothing. Whatever. I'm just a radio guy. I'm not an MD. Paul Hollowell, Ben Sagona, good morning. Shelly Melanson, what's up, man? The Masters now postponed. It's a shame, bro. Jeffrey Sanford, good morning. Kirk City of Omaha lost the NCAA basketball tournament and the College World Series. Wow. Think about the economic impact. So Kirk put $70 million. Those 2 weeks in Omaha, the hotel rooms, the workers at TD Ameritrade, the restaurants, the bars, the Uber drivers, the cab drivers. Man, oh man. Jacob Howington, good morning. Austin Robert, like the city may have some type of insurance or protection in their contract, but you know, Barrett's Barleycorn, I'm sure doesn't. They'll feel it. See, that's a good point. Thank you, Austin. Austin said it's important for everyone to take the virus seriously and take measures to slow the spread. If these measures were taken, then the hospitals would eventually be overflowing like in Italy. USA only has 106,000 respirators. Without proper measures, millions could need treatment. So I understand your point, Austin, but here's the bigger part of it, okay? Understanding that not every person that contracts coronavirus needs to go to the ER or is going to need a respirator. So I understand your point, but that's an absurd comment to think that anyone who gets this is going to need a respirator. Like, hi, buddy. Like that Austin right there is a comment based out of fear and ignorance. 160,000 people, like everyone who gets this virus is not going to need a respirator. Like Rudy Gobert will not need a respirator. Okay? Book it. If I get coronavirus, I won't need a respirator. If he were to get it, we have a concentrator in our house and a pulse oximeter. He's gotten RSV twice, and he didn't have to go to the hospital because we have essentially a hospital in our house to take care of it. So again, that's a point. Part of your point there is the fear mongering. That's absurd. The other part is right though. We can prevent the spread of the virus not by quarantining everybody because that's an extreme measure. By being sensible and washing your hands and covering your sneezes and coughs, and if you don't feel well, don't go out. Like all of those things are common sense practices that we should all do anyway, but only now are people even considering that. How many times have people this flu season at your work with runny nose, cold, fever, coughing on everything? It's like, stay your ass home. Anyway. Eric Hart, reality sinking in that I'll have no sports distractions like the Masters, so now I'm full on dad mode indefinitely. It's not a bad thing. I know you know that, though. Andrew, everything is canceled except for Healing Place softball T-ball games this weekend. Maybe get out there, do a little coverage, full recap, Monday at 3:15. G-Man, what's up? Brent Cottrell, Ryan Peters, Jamie Leday, Megan Hurst. Let's see. The NCAA should foot the bill on the extra scholarship. They won't, but I don't even think that's something they'll do, but I wish they would. I wish they'd give those student athletes the option to play another season. I don't think they will, though. Can everyone claim a medical red shirt for the spring season? No, because a medical red shirt has to be a documented medical absence, and you have to have played less than a certain amount of time in the season, like a percentage of games. Charles Moranto, good morning. Shelby, content idea for the Riot Radio Hours. Listener requested karaoke. I don't think so, bro. I don't think that's a great idea. Wait, what? Drew has a G6? Dang, that kid's star power is huge. Wait, Drew has a G6? What you talking about, Charlie? Which G6? F1 canceled the season opener in Australia, and now before the first practice. Brett Hires, good morning. Lenny Moss, what's up? Kirk, businesses around the stadium count on the College World Series for 80% of their operational budget. I live there. People are going to be in trouble. You know, Kirk, I don't know that I believe that 80% of their operational budget comes from 2 weeks. That doesn't, those economics wouldn't work. 80% from 2 weeks. I don't know how you keep your doors open the other 50 weeks out of the year. I don't believe that that's true. That can't be true. I'm not denying that it's massive. That those 2 weeks make the summer, I wouldn't doubt. But 80% of your annual operating budget on 2 weeks, I can't believe that's true. You just couldn't keep your doors open. Pat Huseman, I'll be in Bruley tonight. 13-year-old softball tournament still on. Enjoy, man. That's great. Matthew Dana on the NCAA changed the ruling in the Spring Sport Championship, or is it set in stone? Oh, can they? Well, Matthew, they can do whatever. The NCAA has the autonomy to do what they want, and maybe they might feel compelled to do that. But it feels like once you've said canceled, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. In this instance. Because the thing you got to consider now is the venues, the hotels, all the things that you had reserved. Well, now those venues scramble. Like if you're let's say you're a hotel operator in Omaha, and you had reserved a block of rooms already for the College World Series, for the NCAA, for the television networks, for the teams, right? Like you had reserved all those blocks, counting on that for them to be there those 2 weeks in June. Well, now you open those rooms up. Now maybe they won't be at full, occupancy, but now you run into a logistical problem. Can you host that event now? If in a month's time they come back and say, hey, like, can we revisit this? You know what I mean? It's not impossible, but I don't know if it's possible. Charlie, it was supposed to be a joke. You said Drew had a G2. No, not a G2. A G-tube. Tube. That's his button. He's a G-tube is a gastric tube. So gastric meaning goes right into your stomach. So like when Drew was born, his feeding tube went through his nose. So he had an NG, which is nasogastric, from his nose into his stomach. NG, nasogastric. And actually, because his stomach emptied slowly, they bypassed his stomach and went into his jejunum, in his intestine. So he had an NJ. So, and some people have that as well, where their tube goes into their intestines as opposed to into their stomach because they can't empty it. So, yeah, so not a G2, a G-tube, a gastric tube is what Drew has. That's the little button. So we hook him up and it feeds him right into his belly as opposed to him taking, food and drink orally. Because he can't. Okay, I'm going to work and listen to Creed all day. I'll have the discography on loop. Don't listen to Creed. I don't need the discography on loop. It's just My Own Prison is the only one. Scott Bork, hey Mom, good morning. Ronnie Duke, Dustin Bolello. Are Sharif O'Neal and Josh LeBlanc eligible next season? Will they have to sit a year? LeBlanc, so Sharif would be eligible the second semester. So he'd miss the pre-conference, but after the fall semester, he'd be eligible. So he'll be eligible next season, but not for the first semester. Brandon ordered a bottle of CBD gummies. Can't wait to try. Hope it helps me deal with anxiety. I'm waiting on mine. Did you get them from Lewis Coleman's place? Kentucky's Best Hemp. KYSBestHemp.com. I ordered some too. We'll see. I hope it helps with my inflammation, man. I ordered the capsules, the gummies, and the salve too. So hopefully, the topical thing you rub on my knees, see if it helps. Let's see. Charlie, I know about medical terminology. Worked in it for 12 years. Well, I wasn't saying G2. I was saying G tube, a gastric tube. Let's see. Doodle-doo. What we got? Um, let's see. It's so funny. Um, where am I here? Back on YouTube. Austin. I just joined. Please don't tell me Matt is downplaying the seriousness of the virus. People have a right to be worried. Um, Austin, I'm not downplaying the seriousness of the virus. I'm telling you that the cancellations are a horrific overreaction to this. Because the most common sense things that we can do as a society, we should all do anyway, which is wash our hands, cover our sneezes and coughs, stay home if you're sick, and yes, if you think that the mortality rate will remain twice or three times what the flu is, I think that's absurd. And as more cases are diagnosed, you will see healthy human beings survive it, and you'll see that rate drop. So all of that is true. And if you care to pick my brain or debate me on anything, feel free because I know way more about this than you. I do. See, you're gonna get me going again. It's all back to like where we started with this. It it's the thing that is the most annoying for me are the people who are pointing at me and going, "Oh, you're egotistical. You think you know it all." No, actually, when I don't know something, I have enough self awareness not to speak on it. This is something, though, because of my child, that I have a very, very deep understanding of respiratory illnesses, of viruses, of prevention, of spreading them, of the danger they can cause. I know shitload about this. If you want to be worried, then stay your ass at home. We can all be responsible in the way we do this. Excuse me. I think it's the first time I've ever cursed on Morning Scone. Let's see. Be fair. LA now 33 cases. How many people had the flu this year? And nobody cared. Well, this isn't the flu. It's a respiratory virus. Very few people in the hospitality industry have insurance benefits, much less paid sick leave. Staying home isn't an option. Going to doctor costs most hourly employees 2 days' pay. Then, Bubba, that's where it is on employers to then not dock their employees in those instances. Like, you want to stop the spread of this? That's how you do it. What are you going to do if the government calls for a quarantine anyway? Then you're stuck either way. Hi from Poland. That's cool. Hi, Polski Honor. That's pretty cool. Atari Legend. What's up? In Italy, the mortality rate is more like 6%. And the more people get tested as the virus spreads to healthy humans and they survive it, that will drop. The people that get tested first are the people that become the sickest first. This isn't a hard thing to understand. Like, that number is going to normalize. Look at the people. This isn't hard. Look at the people that are at risk for mortality. It's all people 70 and older. Old, infirm people are at a mortality risk. And then people say, "Well, what if you give this to your grandma?" Then be mindful when you're around your grandma. Don't kiss your grandma. If you have to go be with her, cover your sneezes and coughs. Or if you're sneezing and coughing, don't go see her. Like, wash your hands. This is all very easy. All things we should do anyway. You also have an audience who need to spread the message to take this serious. Atari Legend. That's been my point all along. Like, I'm not dismissing this, the virus itself. But the issue that I have with you, not you, but people who are in this, is like, man, you're flipping out over this when every year Tens of thousands of people die from. Do you realize more people in our country die from the flu every year than of heart disease? Do you understand that? Yet, why aren't you filling my timeline with freaked out comments every flu season about why are we going to big gatherings? Why aren't people washing their hands and being more cautious? Why aren't people wearing masks when they fly? Why aren't we being more diligent and educating people? Where are you during that time of year? And don't say, well, this is more potent than the flu, because the flu kills tens of thousands of people every year. What you're basically saying is, who cares about those tens of thousands of people? This is a new virus. This is what I care about. That's my problem. Like, I would love it if all of humanity would practice hygiene the way Erica and I do because of Drew. But that's not the reality. And so forgive me for being off put, because I have a compromised child in my life, but we take precautions every single day in the way we live our lives to protect him from things like this. So I'm not worried about it, because we do the things every single day that we're supposed to do. But people like you, who have no concept of it because you haven't had to live with a medically compromised person, you hear this and you flip your lid and you think we need to cancel games and all this stuff. And I'm telling you, that's absurd. You're going to know better than medical personnel. No, but I will tell you this. First of all, there are many different ways to practice medicine. Just like some politicians are conservative and liberal, some doctors are conservative and liberal, and not politically, but in the way that they practice medicine. There are many different ways to practice medicine. But if you ask an infectious diseases doctor, hey, do you think we should put 10,000 people in an arena today when there's a pandemic? Say, that's probably not a great idea. Now, if you say, if you ask the same doctor, is everybody in that arena at risk of dying? He'll say, no, I mean, you might get some people who get a respiratory virus and they'll have cold and flu symptoms, and that's it. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. I got some dope named Atari Legend trying to tell me this. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ in heaven. The mainstream media cried wolf for years. This isn't the truth. Jesus Christ in heaven. Okay. Hey, run to Costco. Get off my feed. Run to Costco. Go buy your toilet paper and hole up in your house. Jesus Christ. I can't deal with you people. I can't deal. Ugh. I can't do it. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I got some people over here that have never ever dealt with how do I make you understand this? How do I make you understand this? Hey, Atari Legend. This is my child the day he was born. Okay? This was my child the day he was born. Okay? The kid that's walking in here right now, this was him the day he was born. Have you ever dealt with anything like this in your life? Have you ever dealt with anything like this in your life? Ever? Anything like this? Especially when it's your child. Huh? Ever? So don't preach to me about taking things seriously. Mainstream media trying to make... Every day of my life, I'm committed to protecting that kid from things like this, which we deal with all the time. This is new for you. It's not new for me. Anybody else? Terry was going to shave my head. Terry's going to shave my head at 6 o'clock. Y'all come on. Brandon, this is why we don't leave Facebook, Matt. Not a bad point. All right, any more? Brandon, I'm getting scared. All right. Let's, dude. Can you imagine if someone just came in on that, like right then? Yo, one thing in my life, man. One thing in my life that will just trigger me more than any. It's like try to challenge me on anything related to that little boy. I mean, let's see. I just don't like being told, "Wake up! You don't know what you're talking about. You're not a doctor. You get your head out of the sand." Like, bleep you, man. Bleep you. Like, people think they have a clue. You get no idea. No idea what life is like, man. No idea. You hear me on the radio. You can see me here. You have no idea what life is like. Let's see. Can you get the commissioner on the show to talk about restarting spring season as a conference? Um, um, yeah. Uh, we'll see. I'm sure he's going to be in demand. Probably has some free time though. But I'll absolutely reach out and see about that. I'd love to get Sankey on again, talk about that. I mean, we'll have a lot. If you have suggestions and things you'd like to hear, by all means, please let me know. Please let me know. Um, Chris Baker, Scone getting worked up is must see TV. It's my truth, man. Like it would be so easy for me to do what everybody else is doing, which is, well, they had no choice. It's 100% the right decision to make, and there are bigger things that like, but it's just not true. It's just not true. Adam Silver made an an excessive decision, and literally everybody else had to follow suit. The fact that high school basketball games are being canceled, and it's ludicrous. It's just absurd. Bubba, can we all calm down and enjoy a Creed song together? Kirk, Matt, go lift weights and get that anger out. I did. I just worked. I worked out before we started Morning Scone. All right, I think we're done. That's one of the whiskey and wine haters hiding behind that YouTube account. Maybe so. Can we do a whiskey and wine coronavirus edition? Shelby, that's not a bad idea, man. Actually, that might be a terrible idea. I'm ready to stop talking about this, though. I don't know what we'll do for the next month, though, if there's no sports. And all we have to do is talk about it in some relation to this. All right. All right, y'all. I'm going to bounce. Go get dressed. Um, Mama Scone. On a lighter note, we won't be able to do our basketball picks challenge. I plan on beating you this year. Um, Mom, God bless you. But who was the team you? You know what? I think Mama Scone picked Loyola of Chicago. You remember that? Mama Scone picked Loyola of Chicago to go to the Final Four that year. Nancy, about to head to Brock. Appreciate that, Nancy. Well, I mean, not that you have to go to Brock, but thank you for mentioning that. And shout out to Brock, as always. They're tagged in the Facebook post. If you like the Brock page, that'd be huge. All right, y'all, I'm going to bounce. We've been going at this more than an hour. So y'all have an awesome day. Every week we pick a Creed song to learn. Let's see. I was going to do it right now, but I'll hone my craft, Shelby, and then we'll pick up tomorrow. All right, y'all have an awesome day. See y'all later.